morning and welcome. You're watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today, the Supreme Court lifted the ban put on the film The Kerala Story by the West Bengal government and the shadow ban by the Tamil Nadu government. More importantly, the apex court made significant interventions on the issue of free speech. The Supreme Court said that there is a positive obligation on part of the state to facilitate screening of a film and to exercise freedom of expression. The state cannot say that 13 people have complained about the movie and hence a ban should be put on the basis of that. Can a Cinema Regulation Act be used to put a premium on public intolerance? Because then all films will find themselves in that spot. And what will people be left seeing? Cartoons and sport. This, by the way, flies in the face of the reasoning that had been given by these two states, whose leaders otherwise speak strongly for freedom of expression. When it comes to them, though, these same states, these same political parties and these same politicians hide behind the law and order excuse, a facade that pretty much was ripped away by the Supreme Court.
I always wish to re-emphasize is, look at the intent. Her intent was that no communities should be hurt, or cutting across all religious lines, no community should be hurt, and in case any community feels hurt and reacts, and that is why if there is a law and order disturbance, for which she took the call.
ममता दीदी को हम तो यही कहेंगे कि प्लीज हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप हमारे साथ फिल्म देखिए, और अगर आपको फिल्म में कुछ भी ऐसा लगता है तो हमारे साथ डिस्कस करिए. हम आपके हर वैलिड क्रिटिसिज्म को सुनना भी चाहेंगे और हम उस पर हमारा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी रखना चाहेंगे, और यही डेमोक्रेसी है.
This, by the way, isn't the only film that has been in hot water with the West Bengal government. In 2019, the screenings of Borshib, pardon my pronunciation, but it was basically Bobashirate Booth, were cancelled the day after its premiere. Why? Because higher authorities issued the orders. By the way, the film mocked everything from the BJP's so-called cow politics to Marxism of the left front to radical Islam. But clearly, the TMC took exception to the digs at its ideology and stopped the screening of the movie. In 2013, before that, the regional body of the Central Board of Film Certification refused to pass Suman Mukhopadhyay's film Kangal Malsat. The body said that the film was unnecessarily using abusive language, sexuality and a casual approach to portraying social movements that may hurt sentiments and were a distortion of history. Today, the Supreme Court said very clearly that just because there is public outrage and hurt sentiments is absolutely no reason to give way to a section of people, to 13 people saying, we don't want to see this. It's the job of the state to ensure that the right to free speech of everyone is upheld. After all of this, has it been amply shown that security, law and order was just an excuse to mask intolerance to views one does not like?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson of the BJP and lawyer, joins us along with Mithun Vijay Kumar, political analyst, Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst, Tausifur Rahman, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, and author Sanjay Jha. Mr. Sanjay Jha, you of all people, because you're an author yourself, should be standing squarely in the corner of free speech. The irony is that the West Bengal government today said, oh, look what's happening in Maharashtra. There was violence in Maharashtra because of the Kerala story. Yet, Maharashtra hasn't banned the film, West Bengal has.
Padmaja, I completely agree with you that as somebody who is a writer, and I do believe that free speech needs to be endorsed. I believe, and I haven't seen the film, it's apparently got a lot of controversial content, but I would not ban the Kerala story for the same reason that I feel that Mr. Modi's government should have the courage. Do they have the character? Are they democratic enough, therefore, to allow the release of the BBC documentary on the Gujarat riots, where they held a, and I've seen the documentary. Let the people know. I mean, the BJP says that the Supreme Court has absolved Mr. Modi. Then why fear a BBC documentary, which may be saying that Narendra Modi was responsible for the Gujarat riots? And I would love people to see what Babu Bajrangi has to say in that entire documentary. Let the people of India see and judge for themselves. I want to make 2 points here very quickly, Padmaja. Number one, the Supreme Court's observations today are critical. It says, number one, don't vilify a community. Number two, it actually pulls up the producers of the film for bringing down the number of women allegedly used to become part of ISIS from 32,000 to 3 overnight. And third, the very critical point that this is a film which is fictional. And now this is where it becomes ugly. And Padmaja, you and I have debated this before, probably even on election day. Narendra Modi, India's Prime Minister, takes a fictional film as described by the Supreme Court. And guess what he did? In Karnataka, he used this as an election stunt. And guess what he said? He called the Congress party to be soft on terror because of a fictional film. I mean, this is the kind of...
Okay, so there are a number of points that you have raised. One, I am glad that you said there should be no ban of any kind, and you're absolutely right on that, because the BBC documentary, even though it is factually on very thin ice, is on everybody's computer, everybody is watching it. Banning it is really proving no purpose, is solving no purpose. Hopefully the Supreme Court will set aside that ban as well. The second point though, the one that you are raising about, how parties very selectively are using the idea of law and order, Tausifur Rahman. What would you say about that? You say, oh, there is going to be a law and order problem. Today the Supreme Court said 13 people told you, I watched this film, I think there will be a law and order, so you ban it. 13 people tomorrow will say, if you get out of your house, they will get hurt and there could be violence. Will you stay inside your house forever, for the rest of your life?
Padmaja, you have to understand, more than anything else, more than law and order, you have to understand the sentiments, and no one is above the law. Well, I'm very glad the court said that you can't ban the film in Kolkata, in West Bengal. So, of course, from tomorrow it will be released. But again, I would like to stick, and I'm very proud of my Chief Minister, whatever she did for the people, because she knows the exact pulse, how the West Bengal people react. Because it's not a bizarre, and you can't be like a berserk that, okay, fine, from tomorrow, this film will be banned. No, we understand why it was banned. Now, let me tell you.
Tell me why was it banned?
I'm not jumping the...
Okay, tell me why was it banned?
Before you say anything, I will not drag the same issues.
No, since you said you understand the pulse of the people, let me understand. A lot of people have said, oh, this was about 32,000 women. It was supposed to be branded as a work of fiction because the community is being vilified. Let me actually quote, and thanks largely to a Twitter handle called Gems of Bollywood. There are a number of clips that they referred to. Hold on a second. If you are really talking about hurt sentiments, there are many clips that the Gems of Bollywood has tweeted out, including Parvati was married to 4 men. No, this wasn't Parvati. It was Kunti who was married to the Pandavas. No, right. The name of the Pandav's wife is Deshdrohi. Now tomorrow there is a very good reason for some government to say, I understand the pulse of the people, and to say that Kunti was married to the Pandavas would anger people. Then ban it.
I will not go there.
Somebody would say, pulse of the people doesn't allow for Kunti to be called the Pandav's wife. Tausifur Rahman.
Padmaja, anything which defame any community, whether it's Sanatan Dharma, whether it's about Jai Shri Ram, whether it's about Hanuman or my prophet or Islam, I will not support any kind of movie. I will not support any kind of statement whatsoever. And again, I'm telling you, we are very proud with our decision, whatever happened in Bengal. And from tomorrow, as I said, no one is above the law. You can go and see the movie. But at the same time, what about Parzania? What about Inshallah Kashmir? What about Firak? What about unfreedom?
That case, MF Hussain wouldn't be allowed to exhibit any of his paintings or 80% of his paintings in the country. And that would be the end of India as a democracy.
We had OTT from last 6 years. Why these movies were not released? So at least I am not running away. There is no excuse. But yes, from tomorrow, it's a democratic country. It's a free country. From tomorrow, you want to go and watch this movie. Any repercussion will happen in India. The Narendra Modi government will face it. Now, if again you spoke about...
No, hold on. That is a very dangerous statement to make. Hold on a second, sir. That's a very dangerous statement to make. Why should Narendra Modi government be responsible? You are the state government. Law and order is a state subject. You will be responsible. It's your job to ensure there is no law and situation. This is a very dangerous statement that you are making, sir, as a representative representative of Trinamool Congress. You are saying, oh, we are going to now exhibit the film because Supreme Court is forcing us to, but agar dange ho gaye, ye Modi ki problem hai. Why? This is your responsibility.
Why?
It is your responsibility because law and order is a state subject.
In Irga, what happened in Irga and South Mednipur, why can't we blame Narendra Modi, whatever is happening in India? He's supposed to be the great leader of India.
Because
he's supposed to be the
Priyanka Tibrewal.
party of India in the world.
Yes, I've heard him, I'll answer him. Because in Agra, whatever happened, the license for running the bomb factory is given by the state government. So it is the responsibility of the state government to keep a check that if there are blasts continuously for 4 times in the same factory, Tausif, I was listening when he was speaking, have the decency, don't barge in. Just keep quiet and don't barge in. And stop lying. Now he was questioning the authenticity of the film. He was questioning the authenticity of the numbers.
Sir, one at a time. You have said that your responsibility is nothing. You will ban a film if that is required to maintain law and order. If you are forced to uphold somebody's right to free speech, then you have no responsibility to maintain law and order. You are like, Modi will answer to it. Priyanka Tibrewal, respond. Please let her respond, then I really must go to the other guests as well. Go on.
They are incapable of handling the law and order situation here in West Bengal. That is why they are speaking so. And now you see it is very clear. What are the intentions? Although we will, the Supreme Court has said that the film should be screened without any disruption. But they are ready, they are prepared that violence should take place. See, whatever violence is taking place in West Bengal is completely state-sponsored. We have seen here in the Supreme Court, the state goes and says that there were intelligence reports that there can be violence. There was intelligence report in Ram Navami. What did the government do? They are a failure in law and order. And whatever excuses they are giving in the Supreme Court was based on the petition of 13 people. That was also well answered. They took, they went behind and they were taking shelter under the Public Law Order Preventive and Power State Government Act. What did the Supreme Court say? That Section 6, can't be given as a premium on intolerance. These were the words of Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
So their
Absolutely.
intentions is purely
The answer to what you are saying, Mr. Rahman, was given by the Supreme Court, where it said today, it observed, there is a positive obligation on the state to facilitate screening of a movie. You can't palm it off to the Modi government or to the Biden government or Rishi Sunak's government. It is the positive obligation of your state. You're not doing anyone a favor. It's your job to ensure that the film is screened and that it's screened safely.
With Donald Trump's campaigning.
Mr. Rahman.
So let me tell you one thing very straight. What we did, we are proud of that.
Hold on, please let him speak now. Let him speak, yes.
प्रियंका जी आपको झाल लग जाएगी अब. आप नहीं बोलने देंगे मैं हंसते रहूंगा यहाँ पर बैठ के. So once again, the Supreme Court, the court said you can't ban Kerala stories. Okay, fine, we'll go with it. But you have to understand what the court said. That it's a fictional movie. It's kalpanik hai ye movie.
Yes.
It's okay. We are good with it.
Obviously, a film is kalpanik only.
I won't name the channel. No.
Who said that it's a documentary?
That's good. We are okay with it. We are okay with it. We are okay with it. And who are we to stop people?
But you did.
We did our
You
best.
did exactly
We
that
did our
on the
best.
8th of May. Today you're saying,
We
who
did
are
our
we to
best.
stop people? Not only are
We
you
did
not
our best
supposed to
to
stop
stop
people,
violence
you
in
are
Bengal.
supposed to actively facilitate the watching of a film.
यहाँ पर right लग गया Kerala story को लेकर. So that's why we stopped. And we are proud of it. I'm telling you once again. I'm telling you once again, we are not backing out of anywhere.
You are proud of it. All right,
We are
here.
proud of it.
All right, respond to this, Sanjay Jha, Mithun Vijay Kumar. Sanjay Jha, you first. So here is a political party which is saying, we are proud that we stopped the film.
My only point to the TMC spokesperson here will be that one of the challenges in governance is that you will have a polarized society. We all know what's going on in West Bengal. But I think, give people the fundamental right to like a film or dislike a film. And trust me, Mr. Rahman, the film, in my opinion, if it is trash, if it is truly concocted, if it is really a biased film, people see through it. Trust me. You cannot fool the people of this country. They are sharp, they're intelligent, and they will discriminate on their
100%.
own.
And there were hundreds of people for the longest time. For the longest time, there was a demand to ban Pathan because of that saffron bikini. Hundreds of people went.
Lost your voice.
Hundreds of them liked it. hundreds of them intensely disliked it. But that is the job of a viewer. You can't ban the film because it has a saffron bikini or a yellow bikini or a gold bikini or for any other reason. But you today, when you sit here, Mr. Rahman, and say, I'm proud that I banned this film, you don't come on TV tomorrow and say, why are these maniacs protesting about a saffron bikini? Because your kind of, opposition is going to be met with these kind of arguments. Let me get in a few of our viewers. Let's see, because, since the time that this film has hit the screens, we have heard everyone. We've heard political parties, we have heard the filmmakers. We actually haven't heard the viewer. People who've gone out and seen the film. Do they think it deserves to be banned? Let me get in. Shailesh Ojha, a viewer, is on the phone line from Gorakhpur. Mr. Ojha, do you think that it could have caused a law and order problem? Sir, can you please mute your television and go on? Say what you have to. Shailesh ji. Okay, Anand Siddharao from Bengaluru is also with me on the line. Do you think the movie would have created a law and order problem, Anand?
Good evening, Padmaja.
Good evening, sir.
In fact, this movie is based on the true story of Kerala. First thing. Second thing, it would not have created any violence in West Bengal, because leave to the viewer's choice whether they believe the story or they don't believe the story. It's up to the viewers. And how can West Bengal government can ban the film? Before banning the film, at least they could have watched the movie. Why they are not watched the movie? What is bad? What is wrong in that? And it is not targeting any particular community. It is actually the true story of ISIS.
All right. So today the filmmakers have accepted that it is fictional representation of a story. However, here is the viewer feedback that you heard, Mr. Abdul Razak Khan. Before you respond to it, let me also get in Mr. Vikas Saxena from Bengaluru. What do you think, sir? Good decision to ban or not a good decision?
It is a very stupid decision to ban the movie, number one. Number two, in fact, law and order is supposed to be a state subject. I see in this a real threat from the TMC about the breakdown of law and order when they say that they are not going to be responsible. They are valuable, going to be responsible, and so be it. Number three, if this is going to be the state of affairs, sooner or later there will be a movie which will be captioned with the Bengal Files. Now I would like to know whether that movie, suppose whenever it is made, it is definitely going to expose the chinks and the kinks in the TMC system of governance. Will they ban it? This is not a way of trying to stifle freedom of speech. They talk about freedom of speech and they are the champions of the breach themselves. That's all that I have to say.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Saxena. Go on. Abdul Razak Khan. Respond to this.
Padmaja ji, of late this has become a fashion. Scripts are being written in Nagpur, promoted in Delhi, and they are, approved in Delhi, promoted by Narendra Bhai Modi. The Prime Minister of the country promotes this movie, and these movies enjoy tax-free in BJP-ruled states. Why? It suits their agenda. First of all, the makers themselves have said that they are inspired by many stories. They have said inspired by many stories. Why are we failing to understand that if the CBFC, the Central Board of Film Certification, if they had done their job properly and honestly, we wouldn't have been in a situation like this today. Come on, the outcome of what Kashmiri Files was, portrayed to the whole nation. Today the Pandits, poor Pandits, they cannot be relocated back to Kashmir. A government in a country should take care and look at maintaining peace, law and order. But this government and the certification board is adamant on promoting their agenda.
Okay,
all
answer
those
this,
film
Mithun Vijay Kumar. Things wouldn't have become so polarized and political had the BJP and the Prime Minister not picked up on a specific movie to make a political statement.
See, I think BJP started reacting only after certain state governments wanted to ban this movie. And it's always based on the ideology of a party. Some parties are inclined towards nationalism, some are inclined towards appeasement politics. So the ones who are inclined towards appeasement politics wants to ban it. and the parties that support national security or may consider national security as a larger issue, they would actually want this awareness to be created with this film. Now, if he is saying that BJP is the party that is, discussing these issues, then he must know that the problem of love jihad, it was actually discussed by, or it was actually brought up by Justice K.T. Shankaran of Kerala High Court, who asked the government to frame law against love jihad. This issue of love jihad was again brought up by the Chief Minister of Kerala, Mr. Achyutan. I can't understand what the gentleman is saying. Why is he
Hold on, Mr. Khan. Hold on a second. We're talking about the film, sir. Go on. Finish your point. Mr. Vijay Kumar. Yes.
Yeah, it was actually brought up again by Mr. Achyutan, who was the former CM of Kerala. And he spoke in a press conference in Delhi and said that they are converting people, and in the next 20 years, they will create an Islamic nation. Now, who are they? The party never gave a statement. Even Pinarayi Vijayan, who is the current Chief Minister of Kerala, he in fact, he was the party secretary that time. He tried to justify the statement of PS. And there was an MLA of CPIM, his name is George Thomas. He openly said that Kerala is facing the threat of love jihad. Now, when did BJP come into picture? I don't know why is BJP being mentioned in this. It has always been a thing that, CPIM has referred to, or the courts have referred to. And it is talking about the issue that we are seeing in Tamil Nadu and particularly in West Bengal, it is the responsibility of the police under a state's home ministry to ensure law and order in the state. And, I heard someone saying that it's Modi who has to ensure all this. Then why do we have a home ministry, and why is there a police department? But I'm glad that Sanjay Jha wants the film to be released, but there are many Congress leaders like P.T. Sadishan who want this movie to be banned. So, see, political parties like Congress and their allies like DMK and, parties like TMC, etc., they're not based on very strong ideology, and their alliance with various groups is often outcome-based. So they will keep appeasing certain sections of the society, leaving behind the principles they often talk about, they often flaunt. Right?
Okay, let me get in.
Their largest objective is to appease a particular community. Just give me 10 seconds.
Okay.
Their largest objective is to appease a particular community, but what they are forgetting is that there is a smaller section of extremists from within the community who are also enjoying the preferential treatment they are giving to the larger group. And while these political parties and their leaders have often said that terrorism has no religion, but with the release of this movie, they are actually admitting that terrorism has a religion, but we can't afford to offend the religion or the extremists within that religion. Because this movie talks only about terrorism and nothing else. It doesn't portray any religion in bad light.
No, but again, that is something on which the Chief Justice is going to take a call when they watch the film. So on that, they have still reserved their opinion, saying that, well, is a community being vilified? Is it, partial towards one community? On that, the Chief Justice is going to take a final call. Diksham from New Delhi is with me on the phone line. Do you think that all parties are equally guilty of censoring what they don't like, Diksham? And what the Supreme Court has said today is going to set a precedent for everyone. Go on, sir. Diksham, can you hear me? All right, Prashant. Prashant from Bengaluru also here with me. Do you think that all parties are equally guilty, Prashant?
Irrespective of Padmaja, my point is very clear. Once an institution called a CBFC has cleared this particular movie, irrespective of its content, no other person or people here can sit in judgment of it. Plain and simple. It's been cleared by an institution, a competent one at that, and there ends the story. If they have any qualms, there are suitable platforms like the judiciary, which has to be addressed there. And this gentleman who was talking about Narendra Modi's government is responsible. In that case, I just want to second the another caller's opinion. Then why in the world do we have a home department in West Bengal? As simple as that.
Absolutely, and this pretty much is saying that if something were to happen, we are incapable. If you say that 13 offended people are equivalent to a law and order situation, then you're pretty much admitting your incapability to run a state in a peaceful fashion. Narendra from Bengaluru also here with me on the phone line. Go on, Narendra. So go on. You can mute your TV and please go on.
Mute, madam. Hello.
Yes, go on, sir.
Can you hear me, madam? Yes, madam. See, first of all, Mr. Abdul Razak is telling that this story has the story was made in Nagpur and then it has been promoted to Delhi. It's a blatant lie, and he knows it. This was first brought by the Catholic to the Chief Minister Achyutanandan. He was brought to the notice of Achyutanandan from the Catholic missionary. After that, only this case was taken, and this man is blatantly lying, and this other gentleman, what is that, Rahman or that gentleman, he talks all, I don't know, he doesn't have any point to speak, and his behavior also on the TV, I don't think he doesn't allow anybody else to speak. He keeps on shouting.
Okay, let's not make this a critique of Mr. Tauseef Rahman. I think most of the viewers are very, very smart. They are very, very discerning, and they are very clear. They have an opinion. They have a mind of their own. Even if something is made as propaganda, it's the viewer who will be the ultimate judge, provided that film has passed the scrutiny of the censor board. Nobody else should have the right to ban either a documentary or a film just because they think that it's not a viewpoint that they agree with. If you disagree with a film, please go to court. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Priyanka Tibrewal for joining me.